So why might you be interested in experiencing the Bowen technique? Well, I can guarantee it will be quite unlike any therapy you may have experienced before, both in terms of the approach and also in terms of the likely results. The Bowen technique originates from Australia and it's been in the UK for more than 20 years with thousands benefiting. Regular users include Kylie Minogue, Bear Grylls and a host of professional sports people. You could say that the Bowen technique is the antidote to two key challenges our bodies face today. The first one I call the wonky factor. There's a constant balancing act going on throughout our bodies, affected by pretty much everything we do. And over time, repetitive lopsided actions, tense or awkward or slouchy postures, scarring and any kind of trauma or whiplash can cause the whole frame to gradually shift out of alignment. You likely won't notice the effects can be very subtle, but months down the track, strains start to create hurting areas, or you might just have a scenario where your back just goes. Well, actually your back hasn't just gone, it's actually been years in the making, more often than not. Crucially, Bowen therapy's focus is truly body-wide, which is really important because the root cause of the pain or the stiffness or the restricted movement often lies elsewhere in the body. So to get to a better place, the whole body, the whole frame needs to shift back to alignment. Rather than just looking in the place where the pain is or manipulating or forcing the frame to change, Bowen therapy triggers the brain to figure out what needs to change and helps it into a resourceful state to make those changes body-wide. The second key factor is the stress challenge. These days we put ourselves under so much pressure, racing through the day, juggling as we go, with very little downtime, which can really start to take a toll on the body. And in most of us, fight or flight, which is a primitive stress response, which was initially geared up to help save our lives in the face of impending doom, is revving away in the background in pretty much all of us, pretty much all of the time. As well as making us feel physically tired, exhausted, tense, and perhaps short-tempered, it can really make us feel overwhelmed and out of control. So how can Bowen therapy help with this? Well, the very first thing your brain does in response to the very unusual, unique, gentle rolling moves experienced during a Bowen treatment is to switch off that fight or flight response and to help the body to revert to the calmer, rest, digest, healing state, which is helping your brain into a much more resourceful state in which to make positive change. Bowen therapy just works, but you don't have to take my word for it. Why don't you give it a try? There's an old adage that says, if you do what you've always done, you get what you've always got. So if you or your loved ones are in pain or constantly feeling overwhelmed or constantly reaching for painkillers, anti-inflammatories or antidepressants, then do yourself and your struggling body a favour and get and try some Bowen therapy.